Well, I have done a lot of research on the life of the lead hijacker of the September 11th attacks, Mohamed Atta, or we should simply call him Mohamed, you know. And the kind of research that I have done on his life, I do not think anyone else has done it so far. That is because I have purchased books on Al Qaeda and Islamic Jihad and stuff like that, and Osama bin Laden, and I have never come across any article or any book or any news that claims that Mohamed Atta was gay. But he was indeed a gay person, and that is something that I have substantiated myself. That is because I have loads of strong evidence to prove that he was gay. If you are interested to know about this evidence, then kindly leave a comment on this video, and whether you will leave a comment or not, I will give that comment myself as the list of statements, as a list of facts, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'll give that, and it will prove ultimately that he was indeed gay. One of the points over there would be like gay people are much more likely to commit suicide. Okay, so there are many people who also have done research on Muhammad's life, and they think that he was actually a very depressed and suicidal person. And I really agree with them, because yes, I do have strong reason to believe that. In a time like that, I mean, he was born in the year 1968. In a time like that, in a conservative Muslim country like that, when you are born as a gay person, and I do not think that he was allowed to mix with other people to the extent that he would eventually find out if other gay men exist in his country or society. No, his parents, mainly his father, forbade him from mixing with other people. So he was suffering from this problem. Like, he is gay, but he does not know what to do about it, what to not to do about it, or who to tell about it, or whatever. So when he actually went to Germany for higher studies, that is the time when he decided to go to the mosque, because he was a gay person and a gay Muslim. So he knew that if he would go to the mosque, he will meet similar male people just like him, who are Muslim, who are his age. He would definitely be attracted to someone like that. That is the reason why he started attending that mosque. And that mosque has a reputation of brainwashing people immediately when they start going there. I mean, Muhammad might be gay or homosexual, but Marwan al-Shahi was not, Zia Jarrah was not, but they were also brainwashed, right? So it had like a double impact on Muhammad because he was gay. Like, he was physically, emotionally attached and attracted to these men who are talking about jihad and whatnot. So one of the reasons that caused him to do what he did was the fact that he was gay, and that being gay made him fall in love with these people. I mean, there is a letter that he wrote back to Afghanistan when he was in America, I think, and it said at the end, "I love you." So he's a man telling another man, "I love you." So that I read on the book called Perfect Soldiers. If you want, I can show you quote or the page number of that book, and you'll see that in a letter he actually wrote that. It's okay, we can all say "I love you" to our friends, our relatives, but it just struck me like he was very much romantically interested in these men, you know what I mean? And of course, the later evidence that surfaced very lately, and it was covered by Newsweek magazine, that various accounts or number of people have claimed that Muhammad and Marwan al-Shahi were lovers. They were like a couple. So basically the point that I'm focusing on is the fact that he was gay, and that motivated him to do what he did, and his targets were motivated by his political and religious beliefs. That I understand. Now, there is another reason why he did what he did, apart from the reason that he was gay, and completely different reason. And that is the fact that he was being pressurized by his parents, especially by his father, to go and pursue a PhD. I have studied, just like Mohammed, up to masters in a foreign country, and if my parents or anyone would tell me to go and do a PhD, I would kind of become suicidal myself, because I'm not really fond of that amount of studying. Trust me, I just am not. Okay. And Mohammed spent a humongous amount of time during his master's program. I spent only 1.5 years in America for my master's degree, and he spent 4 or 5 years on his master's program. There is no way in the world that he would have wanted to pursue a PhD, but his parents forced him. But that is very common in Arab countries, in Muslim countries, in the upper middle class society. People are like that. The parents tell their children, do this, do that, go for this, go for that. I think that Mohammed should have really discussed everything with his parents, that dad, please don't ask me to go back over there. I have befriended a bunch of people who are very radical, who are very radicalized, and they are kind of brainwashing me. And he should have discussed all this with his parents and with his father. He chose not to do that. He kept it a secret. And when his father told him to go to America to a PhD, he agreed to it and he went. And then he did what he did. Now, of course, a degree of blame should be put on his parents. And why just his parents? I mean, most of the parents of the Arab countries are like that, I guess. I mean, I've met Saudis in America who said that when they were kids, their fathers used to beat them. So it's a problem in Arab culture and Arab society. For example, I am not an Arab, I'm a Bangladeshi, right? And Mohammed is 19 years my senior. But nonetheless, 19 years is not even that big a gap. So when I was growing up, I had access to television VCR. There was no internet or laptop back then. I had access to television VCR. I could watch for a good amount of time. I could just watch, Bollywood movies or Hindi movies or like cartoon or whatever. I was allowed to go out and play with my neighbors' children. There were outings where my parents would take me to the house of relatives and family members and have a good chat over there, have something to do over there. Still, I faced a lot of mental problem because my parents were very aged when I was born. My father was already 49 years old, and I have no siblings, so that made me feel very lonely. However, I do believe I had a much more normal upbringing in childhood compared to Mohammed, because Mohammed was not allowed to mix with anybody when he was growing up, only his sisters. I mean, if you would look at Mohammed's younger days pictures, he only has pictures with his parents and his sisters, no one else, no relatives, no neighbors, no friends. That itself, dear, I'm telling you, is a very wrong thing. No matter what kind of neighborhood you're living in, no matter what kind of school he is attending, you have to allow them their space. You have to allow your children to socialize and mix with other people. Because Muhammad could not do it at that stage in his life, he had this tendency to be depressed. And when he finally got the freedom to mix with people, he mixed so much that he mixed with Al-Qaeda people, he mixed so much, he ended up mixing with the wrong people who brainwashed him. I think enough is said, I think I've made my points very nicely and clearly. Any logical, rational person would agree with the points that I'm making about Muhammad. The reason why he did what he did was not political or religious. That is a secondary reason. The primary reasons why he did what he did was, number one, he was gay, homosexual, and number two is because he was pressurized or forced by his parents to go and pursue a PhD. As odd as it may sound, this is the truth, my dear. Okay, bye.